Well, I wasn't raised listening to Southern gospel, or to be honest with you, even Christian music. Now, I was in a Christian home, but just church music, and never really sang ever in front of anyone. On a Sunday morning, me and some of my friends and my cousins were on the front steps of the church, 5 of us, of the stage. And I don't know if we were in trouble, maybe we were loitering, maybe we got in trouble early. I don't really remember that. But the pastor walked by. The pastor was my uncle and my pastor, which means he could baptize me and whoop me, and it's all legal, And he walked by and he pointed to us and he said, "Hey, you kids get a song together. You're singing a song tonight." And we were just raised that if the pastor said something, you did it. And then I was nervous. I'm like, man, why would he do that? I've never sang. And I remember the song. It was Crimson River by the Cathedral Quartet. And we practiced, and I didn't even know I could sing harmony. And or if I was singing harmony, I didn't know it was harmony. And man, the church loved it. So they said, "Man, sing that song next Sunday morning." And we did. Then he said, "Man, get another one ready." So we sang the next Sunday morning, then the next. And maybe about a month and a half into it, a neighboring town about 15 miles away heard about these teenagers that were singing gospel music. And they said, "Why don't you come over to our 5th Sunday singing and share with us?" The pastor would say, the group's going to come sing a song for you. And we said, "Well, we can't be the group." So we put names in a hat, and we ended up voting for Master's Voice, and that was 25 years ago. And I enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked being introduced to this whole... I was in music, but more on the instrumental side. Being introduced into this vocal side of music was very interesting to me. I loved making harmony and things sounding a certain way. And I was intrigued. It was fun, especially traveling with my friends. And then when God started using that music and we saw people come to the altar, man, that was a thrill. And it really kind of changed my focus on, man, this is not just for kicks. This is not just for fun. God really does use willing vessels that would go out and just brag on Him and sing about Him and preach about Him. I was liberated to share my faith in high school and led some of my friends to the Lord and at FCA, and went to college and did the same thing. And man, was kind of known as the young evangelist. I mean, that's what we were doing, is leading people to the Lord. But I still had my eyes set on, man, I was going to be a millionaire before I was 30. I was going to get my education, get my doctorate, and go make as much money as possible. And I had a good job, and my job was a secular one, but for my young age, I was making good money. But I wasn't even allowed to say, "God bless you," if someone sneezed. I mean, it wasn't what I wanted. And I remember working or going to school all week and just couldn't wait to get to the weekend, just so I could go and sing and share Christ. Something started happening, though, where God used the words that we were saying and that we were singing to convict my own heart. And I realized that I was lost. And I don't know if that confuses you, but I said, "Ricky, I thought you were in ministry." I was in ministry and loved it, in evangelism, and was semi-successful at a young age in evangelism. I just didn't know the Lord. And under such heavy conviction for years, man, I'd put that off and say, "I can't, what's wrong with me?" And, maybe I'm just going to have to deal with these kinds of doubts. Everything changed for me and ultimately changed for the group on June the 7th, 2000. That's when I got saved at a revival at my home church, where I was part of the evangelism team. I went from doubting my salvation to knowing that I was lost. Matthew 7:21 is the passage that God used to really shake me and bring me to my knees. And I realized that if I'd have died in that state, I would have went to hell, one of the most religious young people that's ever lived. I drove after the revival service. I didn't say anything. I didn't make it public. Just had too much pride, just gagging on my pride. I drove to my pastor's house, went inside, and he said, "Rick, what's going on?" And And I was weeping. I was embarrassed. I thought he was going to be mad at me. And I said, Pops, I'm lost. He said, well, where are you trying to go? And I said, no, sir, you don't understand. I'm not saved. And he didn't shame me. He didn't ridicule me. I mean, I just got off his stage as a minister, you know. And then he said, well, what do you want to do about it? I said, man, I got to make it right. I asked the Lord to save me, repented of my sin, and I've never been the same. This is interesting. I normally don't go into this much detail, but when I got saved, I stood up from his recliner. I stood up, and he went to hug me, and I remember saying, no, I've got to do it again. I don't feel any different. And the best thing that he ever did for me, he grabbed me by my shirt, and he pulled me up really close like this, and he pointed at me and said, son, we don't walk by a feeling, we walk by faith. He said, salvation is a picture of trust. You have called upon the Lord. He said, did you mean it? I said, yes, sir. He said, then you need to now trust that God is going to keep his end of the bargain. And all of a sudden, it just made sense that it's not about my feeling, not about my good deeds. It literally is that I've called upon the Lord, and he is going to save me, or he's a liar. And from that moment to right now, I've never doubted. And Master's Voice took on a whole new, mantle of ministry. Specifically for the last 20 years, we have been called to evangelize the church. We believe that churches are full of people that have religion up to their eyeballs, who have been baptized, who've put money in the plate, who are even in ministry like I was, but they're just lost. And anyways, that's why I'm here.